Hello, I'm Nigel Cooper and today I'm taking a look at this Tamron 24mm f2.8 Di III OSD wide angle lens. This one is a Sony FIT. It's on a Sony A7 III full frame mirrorless camera. The rest of the gubbins I've got on the front is just a Lee filter system, a Lee 100 filter system with a Pro lens hood, because I've got a Lee graduated filter in here to help bring down the exposure of the sky and the white windmill just to balance that out. So this 24mm lens is going to give this windmill shot a more dramatic look and feel. So let's take a shot and see how this is going to look. Okay, that looks really good. Let's get back and put these into Capture One and have a look and see how that shot looks. Okay, so here's that first shot I took. I got to admit, I did actually crop it. If I just click on the crop tool here in Capture One, you can see where I've cropped it. There's a little bit of excess sky at the top, but the reason I wanted to crop it and turn it square is because we've got all this extra green foliage down here at the bottom, which I felt was unnecessary. But by cropping it to this, I think square is a far superior format. It just lends itself better to the shot. We still have all of the fence in here. I've got the house in to the right and all the windmill. You can see how dramatic that 24mm lens makes this shot. I just noticed actually I've got something going on up there, some little blodge or something, not too sure what that is, but let me just quickly get rid of that using the dust removal tool. That should fix it. Yes, it does. There's another one there. Let me just sort of make that, and one there. I can make that one a little bit smaller. Actually, is that going to go away? There we go. Okay, so yeah, that's the first shot. I only did a couple of little tweaks in here. I think I put in a bit of an S-curve. Yes, I did. If I just turn the S-curve on and off, you'll see there that it goes a little bit flatter. The S-curve just gives it a little bit of punch. I think I did a little bit of a adjustment in the sky as well. Yes, I did with the blue sky there. I just basically boosted it, and same for the foliage in the foreground, just a little bit of green. So yeah, there we are. That's that first shot. I did another shot as well, this one here, where I actually walked over to the windmill and stood right underneath it. If I just go back to this shot quickly, you can see on this sail here where I'm mousing around, if you stand under this, you can actually reach up and touch that bit. So it's only about 6.5 feet off the ground. So that's where I was standing to take this shot. I was just directly underneath it and just a couple of feet forward to get this lovely dramatic shot here. This is just so full of drama, and 24mm lenses, they just lend themselves to this kind of thing. Again, I've basically done, as you can see here, a little bit of boost in the blue in the sky. If I just turn that on and off, there we go. Normally what you got to do when you boost the saturation, if you look down here into this area here, I did actually boost the saturation 10%, but I find quite often, certainly in Capture One, when you start boosting saturation, sometimes you have to bring the lightness down a little bit to compensate, because as you boost the saturation, they can sometimes get lighter. So as you can see, I've actually made the sky a little bit darker and just a little bit deeper in blue. I think I also put a little bit of an S-curve onto this as well. If I basically just take it off, you can see that it looks a trifle washed out, but with the S-curve in there, it becomes nice and contrasty. I do prefer using the S-curve instead of the contrast slider up here. I just find it yields a nicer job, and I think you'll agree that with the S-curve here, it just gives it that drama and punch. So that's the first shot. Okay, so I'm in Cambridgeshire again with the Tamron 24mm f2.8. I was just driving along this road and I've seen this really beautiful picturesque scene with this great big tree trunk that's been put on the ground here by a local farmer, probably to stop people driving onto his land, which is fair enough. But it's just going to make a really good foreground piece because we've got this lovely rapeseed in the background with the leading lines of the road and the tree in the right-hand side. And this shot, this whole scene just smacks of wide angle. So the Tamron 24mm is going to be perfect for this. It's a Sony A7 III camera. As usual, I've got a Lee filter system on the front with a Lee graduated filter just to help bring down the exposure in the sky a little bit. So I'm really looking forward to this shot. This wide angle lens is going to make this big tree trunk here look really dramatic. So let's take a couple of shots and see how they look. super. The histogram on that looks ideal. Really happy with that. So let's get it on the computer and take a look. Okay, so here's the first of two shots that I took. As you can see, the drama on this shot is just really nice. The 24mm lens literally just lends itself to this really nicely. I was standing literally just a few feet behind this log here, quite high up looking down on it because I wanted to get in all this lovely yellow rapeseed in the background. We've got these lovely converging lines here of this sort of green pathway here, the little brook coming down from the tree, and the road all sort of triangulating out into this open space of the log here, which I really like. The leaf filter, the grad filter on the sky, as you can see, it's added drama and brought the brought down the exposure a little. I also had a polarizing filter on here as well, just to give a little bit of separation from the clouds. I did put a bit of an S-curve on. I'll just turn that off so you can see how that looks. And when I turn it on, it just gives that extra bit of punch and into the contrast. What else did I do here? I think I did something with the color in the clouds. Yes, I did. If I turn the clouds off, if you look at the blue sky, especially up in this area here where it's all blue, if I just turn that off, you can see that it's very pale blue. I just sort of boosted the saturation a little bit and brought the lightness down a trifle. So very happy with that shot, nice and dramatic. While I was there, I decided to take another shot, but this time lower down. So I basically, this was handheld, but I got right down low on the ground. I was literally about 2 foot behind this log for this shot. And again, I've got the Lee grad on it. I've boosted the sky. Again, if you look at the blues in the sky, if I turn that off, it's blue, it's still nice, but I just wanted to give it a little bit more punch like that. Again, I reduced the lightness about 8% and boosted the saturation, and I put in the usual S-curve here. Let me just turn that off to show you. There we go. It looks a little bit milky and washed out without, but when you put that S-curve on, you suddenly have that great punch there, just to basically add contrast. I love the drama of this shot, and again, this is what 24mm lenses, they just lend themselves to these kind of shots and just give it all that added drama. So there we are. Okay, so Tamron, not only in the UK but the USA, have got something of a bargain going on with this lens at the moment. In America, on Adorama, it's going for $199. B&H are doing it for the same. In the UK, as you can see, Wets Photographic have slashed the price from nearly £400 to just $239. So this is a Tamron initiated thing in the UK. Tamron UK were kind enough to send me this lens to review for a few weeks, which I appreciated, but I was so impressed with it. I phoned my contact there and asked him if I could just keep it and give him a debit card number. He said no, unfortunately, because it's loan stock, it's got to go back. But while I was on the phone, he did tell me that Tamron have just recently slashed the price. And as you can see, it's getting on for half price, from $399 to $239. So I ordered one from Wets Photographic in Norwich. It's one of my favourite photographic retailers. I'm not affiliated with them. I just like the guys up there and the way they do business. And it turned up the next day, so I've actually got my own lens now. So while they're at this price, as of Monday, the 3rd of May 2021, I don't know how long this price is going to stay like that, but if you like the look of this lens and you're a Sony full-frame user, grab one while they are hot. Okay, so the actual lens comes with this really nice lens hood. It's plastic, but it's solid plastic, and it basically does the job. And you also get, obviously, the front and rear caps. In terms of build quality, yeah, it feels quite nice considering the price. It's got quite a smooth tactile focusing ring here. It's well, designed in Japan, but I don't know if you can read that. Really, it's actually made in Vietnam, but it's made to a pretty good standard considering the price. What I am pleased about is the fact that it's actually got a metal lens mount, and it's even got a weather gasket, which is surprising at a lens of this price. I mean, there's some lenses around about this price, even from the likes of Canon, that use a plastic lens mount. And there's one camera lens maker I know that make budget lenses that actually spray the black plastic lens mount silver to try and trick us into thinking they're metal. But I would never touch any lens like that. But I'm pleased to report that this has got a metal lens mount and even a weather gasket. So it's made out of polycarbonate plastic, so it's It does have an element of flex to it, and for the money, I think it's really well made. As you know, I've bought one, so how bad can they be? It's a really good little lens, more than happy with it. So there we are, I'm Nigel Cooper, you've been watching the photography channel. As usual, thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.